Hello and welcome to News Tonight. I'm Rhoda Ngozi, on sign language Mogalu Mohammed. Let's take a look at the headlines. InterMinisterial task force proposes mainstreaming girl issues in government plans. Land disputes increase in inquiry as inquiry ends business. Bosco Uganda, nicknamed Terminator, convicted by the ICC. And Uganda Olympic Committee continues educating the public on SDGs. Hello once again. President Yoweri Museveni has this evening met the Uganda cranes and given the team 3.6 billion shillings. We will bring you that story later on, but let's start with the InterMinisterial task force for the adolescent girl agenda, which has called for the mainstreaming of adolescent girl issues into the government's budget and plans. The task force said this would strengthen the government's efforts in promoting the development of the adolescent girl collectively. The task force met at State House Nakasero to assess the progress on the implementation of the National Multi-Sectoral Coordination Framework on the adolescent girl and to agree on a direction for the future. First Lady and Minister for Education and Sports, Mrs. Janet Museveni, chaired the meeting. She said globally young people are having a tough time growing up in these days. They face problems like rape, sexual abuse or harassment in schools, places around their homes and in town. She noted that Uganda has tried in many ways to support families, citing the work and effort government invested in fighting HIV and AIDS in the country, and said the same should be done to address issues facing adolescent girls. Now, Irish Ambassador to Uganda, William Carlos, advised the stakeholders in championing the adolescent girl agenda to avoid working in parallel lines, but the interventions to be integrated together into existing systems and structures. Bisangwa, the Executive Director of OFALA Uganda, which is the program that coordinates the adolescent girl agenda, called for simplicity when advancing the adolescent girl agenda. National champion for the adolescent girl, First Lady, Mrs. Janet Museveni, launched the National Multi-Sectoral Coordination Framework in 2018 to find mechanisms that will help government ministries coordinate and deliver a package of services in line with their mandate in order to develop sustainable results for adolescent girls. The increasing land complaints presented to the Commission of Inquiry into Land Matters seem to overwhelm the inquiry, raising concern for victims in the eastern region. Many land cases have been presented to the Commission as more than the recommendations on land management in Uganda.
Over 100 cases have been reported to the Commission of Inquiry on Land Matters sitting in Soroti. The cases require immediate attention, which include illegal eviction of people living around Soroti University, land at the Arrow Square, Item Forest Reserve and the golf course.
That Soroti District Land Board also leased the land to the Soroti Golf Club Limited fraudulently and improperly. Why? By not affording us, as the sitting tenants, the first option to lease it, or at the very least, they should have had our objection, hearing our objection, as the lawful occupants of this property. That was not done.
District Councillor Muhammad Nasur told commissioners that land cases take over 30 years to be settled.
You see, our parents, old people, moved to courts of law for 30 years.
The commission learned that Uganda Prisons is illegally occupying local government land in Soroti.
Places have been encroached so much by developers. But as a local government, we have also tried to see how best can we de-gazette these places.
The baraza, which was organized to solicit for views and recommendations in Soroti, raised emotions when widows presented their concerns.
And he was using some gentleman with other people from somewhere else, and they came with Abuta, one Abuta.
A group of men were hired from Mbale region to evict people without court orders at Soroti University.
Why should they be involved in, in issues that end up in a lot of violence? I think it's not fair. So maybe we need to hear a little bit more from the public. Why do you think the police is being questioned? Is it because of the weakness in the police, or is it because they're overused?
The chairperson to the commission, Justice Catherine Bamgemerire, chipped in, expressing concern over increasing land disputes in the country.
Important for us to have a flavor of every part of the country. So when people raise complaints, it is very good for us because we review those complaints thoroughly. Our manner of doing complaints is not necessarily to have a public hearing. It is that the complaint actually gets reviewed, and the person gets back. We file them in a way that will help the next body, whoever it will be, to either continue handling the matter or to refer the matter to somebody else, or maybe the matter will have been settled by the time we're done. But we do a thorough review of all the complaints. But it is important to have the complaints because they give us a true nature of what is happening in different parts of the country.
It has been established that in Teso sub-region, land disputes have slowed down development. In a few months, the Commission will present findings and recommendations from different regions to the appointing authority. Sudat Kai, UBC.
Police have started registration of persons willing to join the force. Exercise is ongoing at the district headquarters across the country. Earlier, police addressed the press and said investigations into the murder of a border cyclist in Lubaga is still ongoing.
To be a minister in a means government and you don't get into trouble, you had to be a very smart man. And the most important, Edward Theo was a very important, kind man who liked helping a lot of other people. So he was a wonderful civic leader.
We are celebrating his life. He has died at 91 years and I think it's worthy. So this nation, I'm happy. I want to thank the Speaker of Parliament for bringing him here to lay here.
Apologies for that mixed up. What you just watched are members of Parliament who paid tribute to the first minister from Karamoja, Edward Lorika Othio, who succumbed to diabetes last Friday at the age of 91. Othio was the first member of Parliament in the entire Karamoja region and served as Minister for Trade in 70s, a commissioner in Obote's regime, and during Okello Lutwa's time. He also served as Uganda's ambassador to DR Congo. Former Makerere University Vice Chancellor Professor Mondo Kagonyera, as you'd seen earlier, remembers Othio as a patriotic man. Among other mourners were the Minister of State for Energy and Mineral Development, Peter Lokeris, State Minister for Karamoja, Moses Chizike. Districts have been challenged to avail industrial land order to enhance economic development in Uganda. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Local Government, Ben Kamumanya, also asked district leaders to identify 5 products that could be supported in value addition. He was meeting district chairpersons and municipal council mayors at an event officiated by Minister for Local Government Tom Bulletin.
What if local governments were transformed into vibrant economies capable of delivering quality services to their communities? They would generate their own local revenue and provide economic opportunities and jobs for their people. District chairpersons and municipal mayors met in Kampala to discuss ways of opening their potential.
There is no one who's going to sit in Kampala here and provide solutions and prescriptions for socio-economic transformation better than the local government leadership. Elected by the people, living with the people, suffering with the people, harmonizing with the people, enjoying some of the things with the people, than them in terms of the principles of proximity, appreciation, and part and parcel of the problem, solutions, and success.
For a country like Uganda that is still developing, embracing industrialization is the way to go. It is something enumerated in the country's development plans, including Vision 2040. But as Permanent Secretary, Minister of Local Government emphasizes value addition on selected products, local council leaders have been challenged to avail land for industrialization.
If you want to create a base for economic development, for future employment, we must start with a worked out industrial park. So we are coming to you through our chief administrative officers soon and town clerks so that you help us politically to identify land for each district for industrial park, and the earlier the better.
The possibility of this proposal has attracted reservations from some local government leaders.
The districts are going ahead to locate, to give out the public plans everywhere in our municipalities. And these are the areas in which we have plans to develop. I've had the PSC, to locate land for the development. But much of the land is shared by the district's land board. You just come here to the land has been located and we are going to consult the municipalities. It's entirely how we shall overcome this.
One of the problems this proposal is seeking to solve is rural-urban migration, driven by search for jobs among other challenges.
The challenge that remains is how to optimally deliver services and local governance. There must be a renewed focus on wealth creation at local level, and local governments must champion the wealth creation agenda to reduce household poverty.
Section 95 of the Local Government Act highlights the coordination and advocacy role for local governments, which is synonymous with this meeting. Henry Okurut, UBC.
With the legal path becoming ever difficult for most Ugandans to pursue, either because of the duration and or legal costs, an alternative means is being devised. This is the alternative dispute resolution, whose tidbits are being tutored to Ugandans during a 5-day workshop in Kampala.
The pain of going through lengthy and costly court cases is about to become a thing of the past if Ugandans master the art of alternative dispute resolution. This doesn't come easy and is taking a 5-day workshop in Kampala to instill knowledge among the public.
Mediation and alternative dispute resolution mechanisms are the way to go right now because our businesses do not have the time. We understand very well that on average a court case can take up to 5 years. We have a huge backlog. We have a judiciary that is heavily understaffed, and conflict ruins relationships, and in business we need to preserve these relationships.
It's open to all members of the public and is welcome especially for business and domestic relations like child neglect.
People find that when they resolve issues in environments that are friendly, when they come out with win-win solutions, it really improves the quality of living and makes people to live in a more friendlier way, because we are social animals, we need each other. Therefore, mediation is the way to go.
Uganda Law Society is lately advising its judges to first task the public to pursue mediation before any civil cases.
And I would encourage lawyers, I would encourage litigants in terms of the parties and society at large to try and use ADR as a way to resolve conflicts. Because going to court is not only expensive, but it's also time consuming. You spend a lot of time in court, you spend a lot of money, and most importantly, or at the end of the day, when the conflict is done, a relationship is no more.
Almost 550 cases have been resolved just this year, with many more likely to be solved amicably in a win-win situation for all parties involved under this alternative dispute resolution process. John Barnes, Sentamo, reporting.
UNESCO, the Islamic University in Uganda, Kampala International University and other Muslim institutions have organized a one-week training camp at Kampala International University for equipping girls with skills. The Vice-Chancellor and Deja University, Professor Yaba Lugujo, who represented Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development, Janat Mokwaya, disclosed that they are concentrating on the girl child.
Number of science girls is an issue that we are battling with as a country. But for the Commission, what we are doing is to offer more training to the teachers, first and foremost. How do the teachers make sciences attractive? Because once the teachers are trained, they meet boys and girls. But how do they, as teachers, also make sciences attractive to the girls? In the past, when I was going to school, we had teachers who would say mathematics is not for girls. Physics and chemistry is not for girls. But how do we make the attitude change to make sure that girls are motivated? And this is what, as a National Commission for UNESCO and ISESCO, we are really trying to put in place to ensure that this is put together and the girls' numbers in sciences are increased.
The girls must be focused, especially in the sciences, in secondary schools and high schools. All of these girls are coming from high schools, from Africa. We have told them that they have latent potential. We have to ignite the potential. They cannot weaken without trying. They must keep on trying. And we have noted that actually most of the countries are science and technologically driven. So they must enter this arena of science and technology. And it has been proven already that women can do even better in the sciences. They can become engineers, medical doctors, computer scientists, you know. We cannot lose all of that potential. We must catch, we must harness the potential dividend. The population dividend must be harnessed.
Meanwhile, there is still heavy police and UPDF deployment at Bubairana Butcher Men Development Association, a cattle holding site in Mbondwe, Uriha Town Council, Kasese District. It follows a disagreement between Bubairana Butchermen Development Association and Allison Company Limited. For 2 weeks, there has been a disagreement on modalities of how to operate, prompting UPDF and police to intervene after a scuffle between the two parties in which 2 people were injured. MP Bukonzo West constituency Godfrey Kachisabe visited the guarded site and promised that the matter has been presented to the President's office and Parliament for resolve. Kachisabe opposed the idea proposed by Kasese RDC that the conflicting parties would be allowed to operate in shifts because it contravenes the law. And with that, we'll quickly take a break. When we return, Patricia Lukoma will be with us with business.
Every dream has a challenging journey. Ours began in 1998 with a mission to drive the development of a robust communications sector in Uganda. We created structures to champion the dream. We've evolved, made discoveries, supported great minds, empowered Ugandans, and fostered a vibrant culture, enabling communication for all. Down the years, we've created memories and networks, uniting generations and building great partnerships. Together, we can go even further. UCC, celebrating 20 years of achievements.
Have you completed Senior 4 or Senior 6 and you want to do a 2-year certificate or a diploma course? Makerere Institute for Social Development, an affiliate to Makerere Business School, offers programs in accounting and finance, business administration, procurement and supplies management, social work and social administration, information technology, counseling and guidance, human resource, project planning and management, journalism, secretarial studies, and many others. We are located on Sa Apollo Kegwa Road, next to Oilcom Petrol Station, with a UBTEP Center number.
Oh baby, can you wine and wine and wine and wine and do wine and wine and wine and wine and hey. Oh baby, can you wine and wine. Yo, what's up everybody? It's your boy Palazzo Saka Free Boss. Era mwenanga mbagamba tinga 20th July nga 2 July tugenda kubera ku Freedom City nga tuwagira omusajja waffe Calvin the Entertainer celebrating 11 years on TV. Calvin, we love you, happy anniversary. Kati tubapendongo nga 2 July Freedom City. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. Palazzo Saka Free Boss. Yali.
Get open at 3 p.m. The Takeover Party 2019, celebrating 11 years of Calvin the Entertainer.
Loti y'omwaka nga bulijjo yinegguse ye loti y'omwana waffe asinga okuyimba gospel mu Lunyankole era nga ye Miss Mbabazi Kyamukongwire ku luno ebbango tuliwanise anti tuli bakubeera ku Serena Hotel e Kampala ng'ennaku z'omwezi 14 omwezi ogwa Julayi 2019 emiryango gya kugula okusaamu endeza akawungeezi okuyingira emitwalo 5 VIP emitwalo 10 ate emmeeza ya miliyoni emu yokka. Jangu tuwagira omwana waffe awerekeddwako Musibeta Florence, Mary Asimwe, Father Musala, Twina Habat, Beyingana, Doi Tendo, Betty Namaganda, Joseph Segawa, biwagiddwa Pepsi, Travel, UBC TV, Star TV, Star FM, Kenam Construction Services, Horeb Company, Kampala Serena Hotel, SMS1, No Radio, mujje tuwagira omwana waffe ffenna tubeeyo.
Forget the long line hassle. With 1xBet, the power of placing that perfect bet is at your fingertips. Bet anytime from anywhere. Best of all, payment is instant. Place your bet on whatever you choose. Virtual games, bet games, sports, and even live betting. Winning has never been this simple. Bet with 1xBet. Advanced gaming is regulated by the Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board. Betting is addictive and can be psychologically harmful, and it's only eligible to persons above 18 years of age.
And this is the business segment, and of course Mohammed Mugalu still there on sign language. In businesses, we'll start off with Mbale Industries. The developments at the Sino Uganda Mbale Industrial Park have excited the local communities as well as the district leadership. Since its official launch in 2018, the park has attracted investment and is expected to attract more after the small and medium enterprises incubation-based innovation and entrepreneurship center project is completed, as we hear in this report.
The enterprise incubator base of 16 standard steel structure factory buildings is jointly constructed by Ginland Development Limited and Rongwi Steel Structure Manufacturing Company with a total investment of $60 million.
The incubation base is for small and medium companies. Okay, we build the factories for them so they can enter and build their factories what they want.
The project occupies 60,000 square meters that will accommodate 20 enterprises with a total investment of $100 million with an annual output of $500 million, and this is expected to create about 5,000 jobs for the local population.
They should position themselves. First of all, there are certain areas where certain skills will be required. We must actually work towards, we leaders together with the locals, to sharpen the skills in various areas to take advantage of these factories as they actually trickle in.
At least 20 acres out of the 619-acre park has been designated for small and medium enterprise incubation base with a total cost of $80 million.
From the word go, I'm not ashamed to say that most of the people who were compensated here, they were given little money. But what was on our lips that give space for us, for these people to come and create employment for us. So we expect them that any chance of a local person, if that job can be done, let them give us chance.
Some of the factories that are about to go into production include lighting bulbs, manufacturing of washing powder, and wiring cables. Sino-Uganda Mbale Industrial Park geographical position fits it in business.
It connects the northern, it connects the eastern up to Jinja, it connects up to western part of Kenya. So when you are here, whatever business you have brought it here, it is a sure deal. So I want to assure you that our investors in Mbale don't say that you are going to make any loss. The business will be moving on smoothly.
President Yoweri Museveni commissioned the park, which was developed by Tiang Tang Group in March 2018. It is part of Uganda's industrialization agenda of 22 industrial parks. This is the vast Mbale Industrial Park. For a very long time, this park had been dormant, but currently there is a lot of activity, and with this kind of activity comes employment opportunities. Dennis Igoa for UBC News at the Mbale Industrial Park.
Now, thank you very much there, Dennis Sigo. Now, in Agro Studies, the Vice-Chancellor, Makerere University, Professor Barnabas Nawangwe, has challenged young agricultural scholars to find solutions to the agricultural problems within the country. Nawangwe was receiving the 6th cohort of youth from Israel after completing their course in the agro business training.
Makerere University graduates have acquired advanced agricultural skills after attending the Danziger group of companies based in Israel and the Agro Studies project, which is directly funded by the Israeli government. While receiving outgoing young agriculturists, the Vice-Chancellor of Makerere University, Professor Barnabas Nawangwe, challenged these younger professionals to take no exception while confronting problems associated with the agricultural sector in Uganda.
Because when people go there, they think they are going just to study and they equip themselves to become maybe commercial farmers. But the real intent is that they should eventually come and be the agents of transformation of our agricultural practices.
Eyal David, Deputy Ambassador of Israel in Kenya, expressed commitment of Israel to increase slots given to Uganda.
Israel is famous for making the desert bloom. You know, we are a small country in an arid area in the desert, but we invented all these high-tech innovations to deal with the lack of water, to deal with how we, we spoke about irrigation, how we do it, and we are happy to share the knowledge that we gain.
The big challenge after training these younger professionals is about startup capital, which is likely to leave this hard to gain knowledge in complete disaster.
We've changed a number of lives of youths because as we are based at the university.
When I was in Israel, I did dairy farming. I was on a dairy farm for 1 year. When I came back, I started doing zero grazing units, where I put 30 animals under zero grazing for dairy milk. I would feed them, just making a picture of what I'd seen from Israel.
Probably don't have an agricultural bank, or that when farmers go to borrow, they borrow almost at commercial rates.
There's no formal help from government, direct help from government. But personally, I'm happy. Because one thing we teach our students is you have to work on your own.
Students joined the Danziga group through the Agro Studies regional program, which provides a unique 11 months apprenticeship in agriculture, practicing farming using advanced techniques. Abdul Nasili Lubama reporting.
We used to have
Telex, an innovative group geared at empowering local systems, is in process of designing a portal that will promote early financing. The portal will contain online software where advocates shall design their courses, learn and promote startup ecosystems in Africa.
That's not it. It's a great thing to do, but
legal advocates are designing an information portal that will link startup businesses to investors through an online information system to enable early stage financing. Access is designed to store documents that may be required at a later time in a thematic manner.
Access is exclusive for existing clients. What it's going to do for them is to be able to put them in a position of order so that if they have to comply with due diligence from investors, they can just retrieve the documents easily, seamlessly, without any issues. So,
the portal further provides lawyers with access to continuing legal education, CLE, where lawyers are able to develop own courses and thereafter charge for the content to other users interested in the concepts.
This is basically a set of activities, seminars, workshops designed for lawyers to continue getting better, to continue getting more knowledge. And then once you attend them, you get certain points and you're able to renew your practicing certificate. When your lawyer tells you he has gone for CLE, you'll know what he's talking about.
Bitelex Advocates focuses on the innovation for young ecosystems, and the Shield, Access, continuing legal education will be available for use.
It will have some free courses. It will also have some courses for paying. The Shield is going to be free for anyone to download. If you're an early stage company, you can download it freely on our website. That is in 2 weeks. Access is going to be only available to our clients exclusively.
Such innovations face cyber attacks, which is a potential threat for online systems.
So us here at Bitelex, because we want to make sure all our clients are secure and safe when they're dealing with us and when they're dealing with other people, and because we are moved with the idea of innovation and building radical ideas, we came up with this cybersecurity report. In real terms, it's a digest because it's a compilation of articles, different articles that are focusing on different aspects of cybersecurity.
Whereas the idea guides on opportunities that can be explored in various business models, Ivan Morozi, the MD print boarder, recommends bootstrapping for startups.
I need to make that sacrifice so that I can get a minimum viable product as soon as possible, because that paying him and keeping him is a means to an end so that a customer can prove if this is worthwhile.
The initiative runs under the theme, when lawyers renovate, they build radical ideas. Ivan Kahwa, UBC News.
Next to him is Jordan Laoko.
In the business segment, it's time for us to see what's happening with the financial markets, and of course starting off with the forex. It looks like the local currency remained unchanged, and this is all attributed to the fact that there was a flat appetite for dollars, especially from the energy sector and the manufacturing sector. But as we cross over to the Uganda Securities Exchange, it looks like 77.29 million exchanged hands, and quite interesting there, one of the financial institutions, that is Stanbic Bank, that has been performing quite well last week and this week, this time around. We see it take the lead by 99.51%, amounting to 76.79 million shillings in terms of turnover, and of course at an only share price of 29 Ugandan shillings. Let's see the preview. And thank you, Patricia, for that. Now, on the international scene, a former rebel leader has been found guilty of war crimes and crimes against humanity in the Democratic Republic of Congo by judges at the International Criminal Court, ICC. Bosco Ntaganda, nicknamed Terminator, was convicted of murder, rape and recruiting child soldiers. His lawyers had argued that Ntaganda was a victim, having also been recruited as a child soldier. He becomes the fourth person convicted by the ICC since its creation in 2002. Ntaganda surrendered at the U.S. Embassy in DR Congo in 2013. Analysts said it was an act of self-preservation motivated by the danger he was in after losing a power struggle within his M23 rebel group. Meanwhile, Iran has announced it will break a limit set on uranium enrichment in breach of the landmark 2015 deal designed to curb its nuclear ambitions. Deputy Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said Iran still wanted to salvage the deal but blamed European countries for failing to live up to their own commitments. The U.S. unilaterally withdrew from the agreement in 2018. It has since reimposed tight sanctions affecting the Iranian economy. Responding to the latest announcement, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said it would only lead to further isolation and sanctions for the nation. In May, Iran announced it would set up its production of enriched uranium, which can be used to make fuel for reactors, but also for nuclear weapons. The country has already stockpiled more enriched uranium than permitted under the terms of the deal. Iran has strongly denied that it has any intention of building nuclear weapons.
Brought to you by Bet with 1xBet.
Residents of eastern Uganda have lauded Uganda Olympic Committee for its effort towards educating the public on pertinent issues like the Sustainable Development Goals. We have that story.
As part of its mandate, Uganda Olympics Committee is tasked to educate the public on topical issues that in the long run affect sports. This they do through educative workshops like the latest in Jinja, whose theme was the place of sport at the center of realization of the Sustainable Development Goals. The three-day workshop worked at how the public can be informed of the Sustainable Development Goals' aim of eradicating poverty through a focus on partnerships, people, environment, prosperity and peace.
We came together to see what we can do in order to fulfill these SDGs. So I am definitely certain that we could fulfill them with the partnerships we have, with the different things that we tackle, that eventually we would realize them and get to a place where they are realized.
From the training, I've learned that through sports, one can get many chances by exposing yourself. If you have any talent like football, netball, any talent, you can get success through that.
The workshop, achieved courtesy of Uganda Olympic Committee's Sustainability and Sport Commission, will next year be achieved in another region to follow Eastern and Western in the past years. John Barnes, Sentamo, reporting.
Uganda Chess Parents and Guardians Association has had a fairy tale outing during its Northern Region qualifier at St. Joseph's College, Laibi. Our reporter has the details.
Passion and dedication amidst tight competition has been witnessed during the Northern Uganda Chess Parents and Guardians Association tournament. Action at St. Joseph College Laibi for players aged between 7 and 18 had 10 schools send representatives with over 200 players in contention. It was the first chess tournament in contemporary times in Northern Uganda and has left an indelible mark on whoever took part.
This is the game of the mind. It will help the students to develop their mind as they are still young adults at least it also boosts their concentrations, because sitting, playing chess, and concentrating for a period of almost 3 hours in one thing, that one helped to boost their level of concentration. And as management, we thought it very important, at least not to make our school miss this chance of sending students to participate in this chess competition.
Uganda Chess Parents and Guardians Association is a new body that determines to supplement Uganda Chess Federation in spreading the sport across the country. In the action, Daniel Ogenroth won the boys under 8 category, while Brian Rakara and Mary Opio were the respective gender winners in the under 12 category. Other excellent players were Enoch Odoch, Sheila Achiro, Sande Oloya, Deborah Odokorach, Richard Omono, and Caroline Nanyero. The top 3 in each category qualified to represent the region at the finals due in Kampala later this year.
Some of these children, like I've told you, have never played a tournament before in their lives. And a majority of them have never even been to Kampala. So what we're going to do, we're going to get those 36 who win here, and we're going to transport them to Kampala, and they're going to play against children from all the other regions. So what we're looking at is a situation where we interest and we show these children what ability can do for you. Play this game, concentrate on whatever you want to do in life, and you can go miles and leaps and bounds with just that.
The next stop for the Chess Parents and Guardians Association regional qualifier is Masaka for the Central Region. John Barnes, Centum, reporting.
Masazaga Uganda football tournament witnessed another match day with action at various venues across the kingdom. At Kabula Soke Playground, visiting Singo secured a 1-0 victory in a game. Ronald Sempala scored the all-important for the reigning champions. In the other games played, Mawogola and Bulemezi ended scoreless, while Budu edged Kochi by 3-0. Masazaga Uganda football action returns next weekend with Singo visiting Sese, Chagwe plays Kabula, Kochi hosts Bulemezi, Gomba welcomes Buvuma, Butambala is at home to Busuju, Mawokota hosts Mawogola, Buruli entertains Buwekula, while Chatondo at Mwerere dates Busiro.
Brought to you by Bet with 1xBet.
And before we take a look at our top stories for the night, President Yoweri Museveni has this evening given the national football team, the Uganda Cranes, $1 million. That's about 3.6 billion shillings for their participation at the AFCON tournament. The president this evening emphasized that the players must get the bigger share as compared of this money as compared to the officials. Uganda made it to the last 16, but its hopes of continuing in the tournament in Egypt ended on Friday when Egypt won over the Cranes. Let's take a quick look at our top stories for the night. InterMinisterial task force proposes mainstreaming girl issues in government plans. Land disputes increase as inquiry ends business. On the international scene, Bosco Ntaganda, nicknamed Terminator, convicted by the ICC. And in sports, Uganda Olympic Committee continues educating the public on SDGs. That's it for tonight. Thank you for sticking with us here on News Tonight on Sign Language. Magala Mohammed. I am Rhoda Ngonzi. Have a lovely night.